What is up, you damn gorgeous and beautiful gamers? Welcome back. Role-playing James, this real corner in the internet where we like to discuss about RPGs, video games, mostly RPGs. Today we're discussing about weight, rolling. That's going to be mainly on rolling for Elden Ring. I am going to be using Dark Souls 3 as a pipeline because at the end of the day, thanks to the closed network beta test, we do know how this Elden Ring works when we speak about rolling. So, do remember that these guides are mostly focused for new players that are trying to come to Elden Ring. Probably, if you're a veteran, probably you can learn a little bit more about Elden Ring, about Souls games in general. But yeah, that being said, let's get right into the matter. The matter of this video is going to be focused on rolling for Elden Ring and weight on Elden Ring. How to be as efficient as possible when we speak about rolling, when we speak about your possibility to use armor, gear. So yeah, first and foremost, let's go through... No, this is not what I'm looking for. Let's go through ratio. Here's this thing that you see right here, up there in the screen. As you can see, I have 69.5% of weight ratio, which means this little thing that you see right there, it dictates what kind of rolling are you going to have. Alright, the first thing that you need to have in mind about stats is the main stat that scales your weight ratio. Dark Souls 3, it is vitality, this little stat that I have right here. This is what dictates what kind of armor can I wear, what kind of equip load do I have for my build. In Elden Ring is going to be a little bit different. In Elden Ring, it's going to be strength. We can discuss a little bit about that. I'm also going to be making a guide for quality builds and how to be efficiently as humanly possible in a quality build on Elden Ring and Ashes of War, stuff like that. But anyways, the main stat that you want to have in mind when you speak about weight ratio is vitality, of course. Now, as I was saying, I have 69.5% of weight ratio, which dictates what kind of rolling will I have. As you can see right here, if I roll right now, do remember that Elden Ring is going to have the very same rolling animations and weight ratio that Dark Souls 3 has. As you can see, I have this is called a medium roll. There are some things to have in mind. Medium roll has a little bit of hyper armor. Fast roll, your attacks come faster. But ideally, what we want to discuss right now is, let me get rid of these things. Let's go back. I'm going to change my weapon in here. So, depending on the weight ratio that you have right there, it's going to dictate the speed of your roll. It's going to also dictate the roll. Let me add a little bit of equipment here. Let's place Mornus. Sorry, not Mornus. Drang armor. Drangleek. Yeah. I should very much like to have Mornus gauntlets as well. And something like Heart Leather boots. So, if you take a look at my character, take a look at that running animation. It doesn't feel like he has any weight on the character. He doesn't feel clunky. He's like, oh, I'm light as a feather, dude. Look at me. I can run like Little Red Riding Hood. So yeah, and this is a fast roll because my weight ratio is below 30%. The weight ratios that you want to have in mind when we speak about Elden Ring and when we speak about Dark Souls 3 is below 30%. You have a fast rolling. Fast rolling allows you to attack faster. When you attack after a dodge, you also roll faster. And then the next cap for rolling would be below 70%. Or ideally, well, below 69.9%, because I believe that if you get to 70%, you're still going to get a fat roll. So what is a fat roll? Little recap. This is fast roll. And as you can see, the character runs lightly. If I add a little bit more weight onto it, you will see how every step that the character takes is a little bit heavier. And if I roll like this, there's not that huge of a difference in Dark Souls 3. It's not as noticeable in Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2. This is a fat roll. It has a little bit of Poise hyper armor that I discussed in my Poise builds. But do I have any heavier gear in here? Ooh, I do, Dragon Tooth. If I go past 70% with this thing, you will see that I fat roll. I take a huge hit on the ground. Yeah, that is a fat roll. So percentages, again, below 70% here, as you can see, this is medium roll. Below that, this is fast roll. So that's the main pipeline that you need to have in mind to use your rolls properly. Remember that this weight ratio is going to increase based on your vitality. When you raise that vitality, you see two numbers up here. These two numbers, 13.8 is the weight that you have in your character right now, and 77.1 is the maximum 100% weight that you can have. If you go past that weight on your character, you are going to stop being able to move. You're going to become a damn rock at the end of the day. Now, let us discuss about efficiency. How can we be as efficient as possible? Because remember, these guides that I have for you guys are focused on being efficient. On the main topic that we are discussing about. So, if you want to be as efficient as possible, on fast roll, you need to have armor. You want to have armor. So as you can see, these pieces that I have right here get me to be on 29.7% and still fat roll. And still fast roll. I am getting a little bit of poise from the armor. I am getting a little bit of defense from the armor. And still I have the fastest roll as possible. The rolls have the same iframes on Dark Souls 3, which essentially means your invincibility position against an enemy attack. They are the very same from fast roll and medium roll. The main difference is the distance that you travel. And let me show you that real fast. If I stand here on the carpet, let's use this little tearings, these little scratches on the carpet. This is the first one, and this is the second one. As you can see, this one is a little bit farther than this one, but right now I have fast roll. So if I aim properly, I should like to believe that I am aiming properly, I can get all the way to the second one. But if I add a little bit of weight, and I have medium roll, and I rolled towards the very same direction, I can get only to the first one. So as you can see, it's not that huge of a distance that you're traveling, but it is important to have in mind because the longer the distance that you travel, the farther that you get away from the enemy's hitbox attack. Fast roll all the way over here. This is all of the distance that you're covering in your roll. So that is huge. Also, you roll faster, it's not that noticeable, but when you're below 30%, you roll faster. Do remember, that is the very same thing for Elden Ring. The only difference in the Elden Ring is that your vitality, not your vitality, your weight ratio is going to be increasing out of strength, not on vitality. Because Elden Ring only has endurance. Endurance examines your stamina bar. So, ideally, how can I be as efficient as humanly possible? I know that that's a term that I use quite a lot. But when you make a build, you have to mind your strength on the Elden Ring, or in this case, Dark Souls 3, you have to mind your vitality, because as you raise it, as you raise your vitality, you're going to be able to use heavier gear, heavier armor, a bunch much more items, and be able to roll properly. As you can see, I have 20 in here because I want to be on 120 soul level. This is the build for my character. I'm going to be showcasing this and explaining this for a quality build, since this is a quality build. That's not an important thing. I want to have poise. So my gear should be more this. My gear, as you can see up there, the weight ratio is increasing in every piece of gear that I place on my character. And the specific weapons and armors, as you can see, do you see that number? That beautiful, beautiful and magical number that I have up there. 69.5%. That is the perfect, beautiful, like Gordon Ramsay would say, beautiful weight ratio. That's just perfect. Because I'm getting poise for my armor, I have decent armor, I have my main weapon, I have the weapon for the shield, and my poise, which is something that I discussed in another video, increased enough, quite enough, and still I am rolling normally. What is the important thing about this? I've seen so many people. Remember, the heavier the armor, the more poise that you're going to be getting, the more resistances that you are going to be getting. Resistances, you can see them up there on the top right of the screen. Physical strike, slash, thrust. They are not that important because you're still going to get fucked up by the enemies. But the slightest change on the defense that you have against the enemy, it's always going to change. Sometimes it's going to save you from certain death. So I've seen so many people doing this, for example. This is just an example, right? There. And there. How to be as efficient by doing this. And this is hugely important. Pay attention to this, because this is really, really goddamn important. As you can see up there, I have 55%. So I am going to be rolling the very same roll that I would if I had 69.5%. So I am wasting like 20% of rolling space. Why is that important, James? Well, that is important because if you're going to be wearing this specific I don't know, this weird combination that I made with this armor, but if you're going to be, who am I to judge you? If you're going to be using that, then you might as well lower the vitality to place those points into strength or dexterity or somewhere else where you can get more advantage, because do remember, this is Dark Souls. The more advantage, and this is Elden Ring as well, the more advantage that you're able to get from all those little points, they are going to make a difference. This character, I have it built like this, because as you can see, I know that I am being quite redundant, but this is my desired gear. This is the poise that I want to have. This is the armor that I want to have. Where are you? There you are. This is the armor that I want to have. This is the roll that I want to have. Where is it? Here it is. And I am not wasting any points into vitality. I am using the most out of every single thing that I have in this character, and this is what you should be doing. I know this is being quite nitpicky, quite perfectionist, but like I said, I've seen so much people playing, so many of my friends, not minding their weight ratio, their speed when they roll. That's hugely important, especially speed when you roll. Poise will be very important in Elden Ring, because in Elden Ring you have passive poise and you have as well hyper armor. You need to have all of those little things in mind. It is so much to have in mind for Souls games to have quite the learning curve. But if you manage to handle all of these assets properly, trust me, you're going to dominate Elden Ring No problemo, compadre. Like I always said. Like my compadre always says. But yeah. I guess that's everything that you need to know about weight ratio on Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3. Oh no! I wanted to the stats in Elden Ring just before we wrap up the video. Strength is going to be dictating your weight ratio on Elden Ring. Essentially, they took away vitality and they placed it inside of strength. So if that's the case for Elden Ring, all of those points that I have on this build for vitality, I would place them instead on strength. And since my weapon is a quality weapon, I am going to be getting benefits in here. As you can see, in this specific character, it looks a little bit weird to have 42 and 42 on strength and dexterity. I would very much like to have them each on 50, and possibly, if I am able to, 60. But I do not want to go higher than 120 soul level, because that's the ideal soul level for PvP in Fight Clubs. The lower you need to make your build as low as possible and as efficient as possible. If you plan on doing PvP, if you're not planning on doing PvP, then you can just allocate points randomly wherever you want to place them. But do have in mind that below this, away from this point, further from this point, 120, it's going to get harder to get levels. So this is the ideal efficient. This is as efficient as you can get. Anyways, I hope that you guys find the video enjoyable. I hope that you guys had fun with these conversations with RPJames. That's everything that you need to know about weight ratio and rolling on Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3, because remember that thanks to the closed network beta test, we were able to see that weight ratio and rolling will be the very same as Dark Souls 3 was. That being said, I hope that you guys have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. I hope that if no one has told you today, remember that if no one has told you today that you're a gorgeous and beautiful person, then you are indeed a gorgeous and damn gorgeous, beautiful person. Stay safe out there. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day.